Happy Wednesday, friends. Thanks for sticking around, coming back to watch this video today. It's called Form Follows Function today. And we began our exploration of Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie today for most classes. And based on what we're sort of starting to get a feel for, this book is written a little bit differently than a lot of books that you're used to. This was a big part of our discussion today, in addition to your fire starter, which is below, which sort of allowed you to predict a little bit about the relationship between Stephen, our narrator, our main character, and his little brother Jeffrey. And I asked you to do some predicting because, remember, it sets a purpose for our reading. It gives us a reason to look for essentially proof and supporting details for what we have guessed at given the information we have. So after we did that, we started noticing that this thing that Miss Palma says, Stephen's English teacher, where she says, "You know what I always say, form follows function." Well, we broke that down and we said, form follows function. Huh? Form? Oh, format, like how something works, how something operates, how something runs. Okay, so how something works follows, like is a result of the function. Well, we know function by a different name in this classroom. Purpose. Oh, so you mean we start with a purpose and then we follow it up, we support that, we follow that purpose by providing different types of writing or different methods or different strategies for our reader to be able to understand us and ultimately connect to us. Guys, it's a universal truth. I promise you I'm not just making this up. It's even in a published book, right? As something that a wacky English teacher says about how to write. It's really just about how to communicate. The way we say things, the way we do things, the way we approach things really depends on what our goal is, what our purpose is, what our function is. So we had a nice little discussion about that because Jordan Sonnenblick does two things in this novel that we're not used to seeing very often. First of all, he's having his narrator, his main character, who is a first-person narrator, directly involved in the story. Every now and then, he's addressing us. He's doing what we call breaking the fourth wall, which means that we're not looking in anymore and seeing just a self-contained story play out. That story is actually coming in and interacting with us now. Our main character is addressing the reader themselves. So acknowledging that he is telling a story. And I asked you guys, does this make you read the book a little bit differently? And you all said, yes. Yes, it does make me read this book differently. So if we know that this was a choice made by the author, why did the author do this? What was their purpose for changing up the way the traditional narrative is told? What are they attempting to do here with this story, with this character? A good reader, an active reader, is thinking about these things. Also, Jordan Sonnenblick made an interesting choice when it comes to dialogue. We know dialogue is when people talk. Well, normally we see that in regular plain old text, but it's got quotation marks around it. Not in this book, not Jordan Sonnenblick for his purpose for this book. All of the dialogue is italicized. It's that slanty writing. No quotation marks. Well, why is that? What could his purpose possibly be for shifting all of these traditions that we're used to seeing in a standard novel that we open up and read? What's he trying to do? Now, I have my own theories about this. You know, if we want to connect with an audience in a very different way, we're going to have to approach something in a very different way. So I've got my own theories about why he's doing this, but why do you think he's doing this? Let's see, as we continue to explore, and as we continue to predict, and as we continue to get to know these characters, as we continue to try to empathize with them, put ourselves in their situations, as we gain more vocabulary specific to this particular book, as we're doing all of this stuff that our organizers allow us to do, let's see if we can't think on a higher level about Jordan Sonnenblick's purpose. Because as we know, if we can unlock his purpose and why he's doing these new things, we can get at the core of the story, what he really wants us to understand and connect with so that he can communicate it to us, his main idea. It'll become more and more clear as we continue to do this heavy-duty thinking and move forward with what we know to be a quality, active reader. Guys, I'm loving this book already, and I'm loving your reactions to this book already. I personally love this book so much that when I read it for the first time in grad school, I immediately brought it before everybody I needed to bring it before in order to get it approved so that, and bought and purchased so that I could teach it here. That's how strongly I feel about this novel. I hope you love it as much as I do. Heck, I hope you even enjoy it more than I do. That'd be really awesome. So, I'm not here tomorrow, but I expect the same type of quality thinking to go on because Mr. Shermer's a boss, and he'll be in here, and he has all of my notes, and he's read the book before too, so you guys should have some awesome discussions, awesome writing. Don't forget to keep up with your stuff, your organizers, your fire starters, because that's where that quality thinking is facilitated. That's what helps you do that thinking until it just becomes second nature to you every time you read. Cool stuff, guys. Form follows function. Keep that in mind. I'll see you on Friday.